Hey, guess who? It's small Bimbo Boy. And today I'm doing a collab with my friend MC Crystal, and we're making our Inside Out OCs. My OC is called Delusional, and they are a villain, an intentional villain actually. And the special thing about Delusion is that they never use the console. They don't even have a console app. They never touch it at all. The way delusion works is by manipulating the other emotions into believing something that's not true, but they state it as a fact. And in turn, that kind of encourages the emotions to go use the console and go act out their emotions in different ways based on what delusion is describing to them. Another thing about delusion is that they don't stay inside of the little building that they stay inside of in the movie. They actively leave the building. And they kind of hang around in the imagination area where all the other worker guys are like sketching and drawing ideas for Riley to think of. That's where they hang out, which also encourages the emotions to act because they believe they're seeing something and Riley believes she's seeing something when actually it's just delusion messing with the workers and getting them to do things. Another thing about Delusion's design is that they have a suit. They have this guise of being perfect and knowing what's what and knowing what's best. But they actually are extremely disorganized, which is another thing about Delusion. Their shoes are untied and their shirts peeking out from their suit. It just shows that they're not orderly at all. I also made them a cloud to show like thoughts and stuff, and they always have like a little attitude scribble above their head, which is why they're all like puffy and stuff. Another thing I saw, I don't know if it's true, but some of the emotions have different colors on them. Like Joy has a green dress for like disgust and blue hair probably for sadness and all these other things. So what I did is I made Delusion's eyes, I made the sclera, I think that's what it's called, the white part of the eye, and one of their eyes red and then a little spiral to kind of show insanity of joy and anxiety. And then I made their other eye purple for fear to show the kind of emotions they usually attack the most. They use anger to make them angry, like if they're imagining like a delusional scenario and making them angry. Joy for them to be happy. It kind of distracts Riley when they do a joy kind of delusion because it distracts them from working because they're so busy imagining all these different scenarios and etc. etc. Delusion is an extreme liar, and their goal basically is to make Riley kind of like a couch potato. All they want is for Riley to just sit around and imagine all these different scenarios, whether it's happy or sad or angry or fearful. They just want Riley to sit around and basically do nothing. They kind of encourage Riley to just imagine rather than go out and actively do things to achieve anything. Now we have how Delusion interacts with MC Crystal's OCs, Gullible and Serious. Starting with Gullible, Delusional absolutely loves Gullible, not only for the fact that she's just joyful and playful all around, but for the fact that she is, as she's called, gullible. And they can use Gullible to kind of back up their lies and information. And since Gullible believes anything anyone tells her, and also because they need their brother's opinion on anything, but also since Sirius needs her opinion on anything, they kind of use that to get Sirius on their side whenever they need them. Not only that, but since Gullible is extremely mischievous and kind of steals other people's belongings and distracts them from the work, Delusional kind of likes that, because they also do the same thing. And they can convince Gullible to hand over the items in case they need something. An example would be Ennuy's phone. I imagine Delusional would like to take Gullible down to the imagination room and come up with silly little scenarios with her. But little does she know, they're actually being used to hurt Riley. Now with Sirius. Since Sirius knows Delusional's plan, while Delusional doesn't avoid seriousness, Delusional tries not to use Sirius as much as possible for their plan. And again, whenever Delusional does need Sirius, they immediately go to Gullible to convince them to participate a little bit in the plan under the guise that it's all just good fun and they're just having a fun time and not actually hurting anyone. I like to imagine that while Delusional is good at their job, Joy and Seriousness kind of work together to kind of call Delusional out, but they use the guise of, the emotions being just genuinely good people and kind of mask themselves as kind of like a misunderstood villain or a a villain that's trying to do what's best for Riley, kind of like how 𝐥𝐻 was. So anytime they get caught, they come up with an excuse saying how they just wanted to protect Riley, etc., etc. And while I think Joy would forgive easily, I think emotions like seriousness and anger would not, and they would always keep an eye out for Delusional. In the Inside Out 2 movie, anxiety is sort of kind of depicted like a virus, but to me, Delusional as a villain is more depicted as fog, kind of just clouding your vision. It kind of feels nice, the temperature is warm or cool, whatever you want, but you can't see, and even though you can't see, it's kind of nice. A scenario where Delusional wins, where Delusional completely takes over and everyone's captured and stuff, I don't think he would bottle up the emotions, since, of course, that didn't work last time. And since Delusional's the only genuinely evil person in the whole group, I'd imagine he'd lock them up, ironically, inside of the tower, instead of putting them as far away from it as possible. He'd lock them in their rooms with a kind of microphone and speaker to talk to them, telling them lies like how this person said that and that person said this, and encouraging them to dream. And if Gullible and Sirius doesn't join their side, then of course they'd be locked up separate from each other, since they do need each other. And that's my Inside Out OC. Stay Bimboy, my boys, but most importantly, stay small.